Long, long ago, when the universe was nothing more than a grand blueprint, there existed a group of cosmic architects known as the Elohim. These architects were not content with merely creating cold, distant stars. They yearned to create life, a miracle capable of breathing, growing, and possessing a soul. To truly bring a planet to life and provide a path of evolution for souls born into the three-dimensional physical world, they conceived a brilliant plan. They had to take a certain quality of the fourth dimension and plant it deep into the physical realm, like the roots of a tree. And so, these architects established the laws. They realized that to create a reality of perfect spherical harmony, they had to introduce the intertwining of four fundamental forces. Just like the poles of a magnet, they created positive and negative. Just like the ebb and flow of breath, they created life and death. For us humans, these opposing forces became the backdrop of our life stage. In that distant beginning, humanity was still in its infancy, and we could only perceive the world through our most intuitive physical senses. We gazed at our own hands, extending 10 fingers. Thus, we learned to count by tens, using it as the measure for the reality before our eyes. But in the legendary era of Atlantis, the sages looked further. They taught that counting should not end at 10. If you count your 10 fingers and add your 2 palms, you arrive at the number 12. This 12 represented the 12 facets of reality within the physical world, much like the 12 months of a year or the 12 stages through which life must evolve. Yet, even this was not the whole truth. Beyond the 12, there remained one final number, the most central and sacred of all: 13. That 13th point does not reside on the fingers, but in the heart. It is the center point connecting all realities, the very axis of time. Through this structure, the ancestors of Atlantis taught us a vital lesson. To truly see reality, one must look beyond the surface. We must pass through the 12 different phases and ultimately return to the beating of the heart, there to realize the truth of life that binds all things together. Later, when those interstellar visitors descended from the heavens, they brought us more than just awe. They gifted us a key to unlock the ultimate truths of the universe. They told us that the structure of this planet is far more than just the soil and rock visible to the naked eye. It is equally woven from time itself. To help us comprehend such a grand existence, these celestial visitors guided us to seek a mystical shape, a sacred geometry born from the continuous doubling of the number 12. They explained that the essence of the universe is a symphony composed of the number 10. The spirit has its 9 paths, which, when joined by the moment of awakening within the cosmic mind, form a perfect 10. The soul, amidst the fluctuations of the cosmos, also follows its own 10 levels of hierarchy. Even our physical bodies correspond to the 10 within the physical laws of the universe. This 10-10-10 structure serves as the 3 pillars of the universe's backbone. And when we combine these 30 dimensions, representing spirit, soul, and body, with the 12 physical faces of ancient Atlantean mathematics, a miracle occurs. 12 times 30 equals 360. 360 degrees, and thus a sphere was born. The interstellar messengers helped us understand that a sphere is more than just a geometric shape. It is, in fact, the ultimate symbol of cosmic unity. This 360-degree completion is the very form of life we are meant to emulate and align with. To enable us to orient ourselves within the three-dimensional world, these higher dimensional beings introduced precise scales of space-time. They taught us how to divide the circle into 60, 30, and 90, as if drawing lines of longitude and latitude across the chaos. These numbers were no longer merely dry calculations. They became a map to the very core of reality. Through these trans-dimensional geometric structures, humanity finally began to understand how to reach out from this spherical planet and touch the cosmic source hidden deep within the folds of space and time. Just as the dawn of human civilization broke and we yearned to explore every corner of the earth, messengers from Sirius descended, bringing with them the gift of precise mathematical knowledge. They told us that humanity's mission was never to live out our lives guarding a mere fragment of land. To reach the mind of God, we must traverse every one of the 360 degrees of this spherical planet, journeying to every space and opening those hidden Stargate portals at specific points in time. These mathematical laws are like a living map, guiding us as we navigate through the labyrinth of space and time. However, the architects of Sirius also revealed a startling secret. Our world was, in fact, intentionally designed to be imperfect. It sounds strange, doesn't it? According to the original blueprint, space-time should have been absolutely perfect. However, if everything were to reach ultimate perfection, evolution would grind to a halt because there would be nothing left to improve. And so, a being from the sixth dimension, the one we would later come to know as Lucifer, proposed a daring and audacious concept. He decided to introduce a touch of distortion into the perfect blueprint, creating a slight delay within time. Much like casting a stone onto the smooth surface of a lake, he caused a ripple of curvature in space-time. This transformed our reality into a labyrinth, and while it left us deeply entangled, it also granted us a brilliant opportunity to experience life in an entirely new, non-linear way, and to constantly reinvent ourselves. To balance this imperfect evolution, the mentors from Sirius established the benchmarks of 360 degrees and 360 days on Earth, attempting to echo that original sense of wholeness. However, the structure of the sixth dimension subtly and ingeniously stretched the span of a year just a little bit further. That is why those final 5 days were added to our calendar. These extra 5 days are a gap left by design. They broke the seal of closed perfection, ensuring that we could never find ultimate stasis within the material world. They serve as a reminder. Do not settle for the status quo. Instead, evolve continuously and transform endlessly. Therefore, these 5 extra days are not a calendar error, but rather celebration days gifted to us by the universe. They represent the freedom to break free from our chains and serve as the ultimate tribute to diversity. It is precisely because of these imperfect remnants that we possess the eternal momentum to create miracles of infinite possibility within this imperfect world. In the depths of the universe, the primordial positive and negative are not mere opposites. They are the source of all evolution, nurturing the mind and the heart, or what we know as thought and emotion. To ground these invisible energies within the three-dimensional material world, the universe created 2 major lineages to serve as vehicles for evolution. On one side were the reptilians, representing emotion, and on the other were the giants, Nemnir, representing the mind. Like the north and south poles of a magnetic field, they converged cosmic information onto a single point, Earth. However, simply having north and south, or positive and negative, was not enough. True evolution requires a complete cycle, much like the 4 breaths of life: expression, experience, integration, and transcendence. These 4 evolutionary stances must correspond to the 4 cardinal directions in space-time: north, south, east, and west. Since the reptilians and the giants had already anchored the north and south, the positive and the negative, The universe required new forces to govern the East and West in order to achieve a state of sacred balance. This means that the cycle of consciousness functions much like the alternation of day and night. When one half of the globe falls into slumber, the other half must remain awake. Only in this way can the spark of consciousness stay lit across the entire planet, never to be extinguished. Thus, under the grand design of the Elohim, two great civilizations were dispatched to Earth 200,000 years ago, settling at opposite ends of the world. In the ancient age of Atlantis, they were known as the Alethir and the Esir. The Alethir, later known as the Mu civilization, descended into the vast depths of the Pacific Ocean. Positioned far across from them were the Esir, who settled in the regions of Mesopotamia and the Mediterranean, the beings famously known as the Anunnaki. These interstellar visitors arrived with a mission that was at once scientific and romantic, to see if extraterrestrial life could truly survive on this blue planet, and to discover whether Earth's immune system would reject these uninvited guests. The Alethir, who arrived in the Pacific, initially chose to settle among the ocean. They patiently attempted to establish the deepest possible connection with Earth, listening to the breath of the plants, sensing the pulse of the rocks, and communing with the minerals. They yearned to be accepted by Mother Earth, longing to become an integral part of the planet's genetic fabric. It was an incredibly protracted process. They waited within the cradle of the sea for countless centuries before finally taking root upon the land, unveiling that long-buried, glorious civilization. Approximately 50,000 years ago, while the Alethir dwelling deep within the ocean regions synchronized their breath with Earth in silence, another group of extraterrestrials known as the Aesir, later widely recognized as the Anunnaki, began their own operations. Unlike those who were enamored with the ocean, the Aesir were more captivated by the vast land masses. They surveyed the planet like eagles, searching for the most fertile soil upon which to build their civilization. Being closer in nature to humans, they chose to settle among the deserts, the wilderness, and those towering mountain ranges. And so, a fascinating complementary structure emerged upon the Earth. In the west, the Alethir stood guard over the deep Pacific. Connected to water and air, they wove dreams beneath the waves. In the east, the Aesir ruled the roof of the world, embracing the earth and the scorching sun. Because of their profound connection to the sun, the Aesir were honored as the civilization of the sun. Roughly 20,000 years ago, when they officially established their home in the Mesopotamia and Mediterranean regions, the scene was as if the glory of heaven had been directly transposed into the earthly realm. It was the first time in human history that a civilization, as dazzling as the sun itself, was witnessed flourishing upon the land. But you might be curious, how exactly did those mysterious Alethir arrive in the first place? This traces back to one of the most thrilling moments in Earth's history, when a violent collision between the moon and the Earth left a massive wound on the planet's surface, what we now know as the Pacific Ocean. It is not merely an ocean, but the most magnificent spatial portal on Earth. At that time, all the wisdom, information, and waters of life in the universe surged straight down through this colossal crater. The Alethir entered our world precisely by following this portal. They chose a sacred triangle within the Pacific Ocean to settle, planting cosmic information here like seeds. The vertices of this triangle are Hawaii, Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and New Zealand. At the heart of this sacred land surrounded by water, all the mysteries regarding marine life in the starry heavens are stored. To this day, when we gaze upon the ancient ruins of New Zealand, the enigmatic structures of Micronesia, or those silent monolithic statues on Easter Island, we can still feel a faint pulse from the Alether civilization, an eternal memory of water and sky that they left behind for this planet. In those distant ages, humanity once referred to the Alether as the angels of the ocean. They earned this name because the aura they exuded was incredibly subtle and divine. They were exceptionally tall with elongated faces, but their most unforgettable feature was a countenance as calm as still water. No matter what transpired, whether fortune or calamity, their expressions remained unruffled, as if they existed in a state of absolute neutrality. Their gait was impossibly graceful. They moved as if their feet never touched the ground, gliding silently in a state of ethereal suspension. People whispered in private that these angels were no mere mortals, but had come from the most radiant core of the Milky Way, the star known as the heart of the galaxy, Vega. As guardians of water and air, the Alether spread throughout the Pacific and Indian Oceans. If the even more ancient race of giants, the Nemnir, were the protectors of the glaciers, then the Alether were the shepherds of flowing water. They established a profound connection with the creatures of the sea, particularly whales and dolphins. These marine beings store information within the ocean through sound and vibration, and the Alether served as the gatekeepers of these ancient memories. In the minds of those who once witnessed their civilization, images of crystal cities would always emerge. Although those structures were not actually crafted from pure crystal, the Alether skillfully embedded vast amounts of quartz into their stone architecture. On Earth, stone is responsible for carrying physical information, while the vibration of quartz serves to preserve spiritual energy. Because of this, their cities always shimmered with a dreamlike radiance. The transportation used by the Alether was equally poetic. They no longer relied on fire-breathing spacecraft. Instead, they traveled on quartz slabs. These slabs glided through the oceans propelled by magnetism and pure vibration. Most astonishing of all was the way their society functioned. The Alether were connected through telepathy, their entire civilization operating like a harmonious hive. In their world, there were no heated debates and no kings or queens sitting high above. Even if a titular leader occasionally emerged, it was not for the sake of ruling, but to guide the resonance. No one issued orders to others. Instead, like bees, everyone worked in silent accord, unified by the same frequency. This vibration transmits most perfectly through water. The Alether acted as a bridge. They transmitted the mysteries of the starry heavens to whales and dolphins through vibration, while simultaneously absorbing the wisdom of marine life into their own collective. It is said that the Alether possessed immense heart chakras, and the frequency of their heartbeats was incredibly powerful. Ancient legends tell that wherever water flowed, the heartbeat of the Alether could be heard. Even today, if you can quiet your mind and close your eyes, you might still feel that life vibration from an ancient civilization, a hum like a swarming hive, still faintly echoing within the depths of the earth. When those known as the Aesir descended, they appeared like gods of war emerging from the hidden realms in the depths of the stars. They came from the vicinity of a star in Orion, one of the most critical interstellar portals in the Milky Way. These beings were astonishingly sturdily built, practically living giants. If you have ever seen ancient Greek stone carvings or those muscular, thick-bearded deities of Middle Eastern mythology, you can imagine their appearance. It was a militaristic physique radiating a sense of immense power. Unlike other interstellar groups who were merely passing through or occasionally engaging in conversation, the Aesir, more commonly known as the Anunnaki, were the first race to truly and profoundly alter human genetics and destiny. In truth, their homeland originally consisted of planets on the brink of destruction. With nowhere else to go, the Confederation guided them to Earth. Within the plan of the Elohim, the cosmic architects, these formidable beings possessed immense potential to swiftly awaken a still ignorant humanity. However, when the Aesir arrived, they did so with their own hidden agendas. Their homeland required reconstruction and was in desperate need of vast mineral resources. To extract gold and minerals from this world, they needed a massive labor force. Consequently, a sprawling system of familial rule was born. These Aesir divided and conquered various regions of the earth like different royal houses, presiding over distinct human populations. They keenly perceived that the minds and emotions of early humans were incredibly fragile. Consequently, they wove a perfect lie. We are the gods who descended from the heavens. If you do not obey our divine will, calamity shall befall you. While they possessed formidable technology, their true power actually stemmed from the manipulation of concepts. Since the reptilian civilizations before them had already instilled in early humans a deep-seated awe of the serpent as a symbol of power, the Anunnaki simply followed suit. They borrowed reptilian iconography and utilized the portal in Iran known as the Heart of the Serpent as a facade for wisdom, steering humanity onto a trajectory of their own design. They handpicked males to serve as social administrators, establishing a rigid hierarchy. Most interestingly, they were the first to bring spoken language to this planet. While other extraterrestrials before them may have relied more on telepathy, the Aesir utilized the tongue and the throat, communicating with humanity through literal and tangible rhetoric. Because of this deep connection, these giants even had relations with humans. To this day, the genes of these ancient giants still flow through the blood of many people on Earth, a profound imprint left by the Anunnaki upon the history of human evolution. Throughout the long history of Earth's evolution, a vast encyclopedia has been hidden within each of our bodies. We were once the fish of the deep sea, the birds of the high heavens, the crawling reptiles, and the running mammals. All these imprints of life, billions of years of survival experience, converged at the moment humans evolved self-awareness into a term we know all too well: emotions. Emotions are far more than just a matter of feeling good or bad. They are, in fact, the universe's most sophisticated programmable energy, recording the entirety of our information as beings who have evolved to this day. The extraterrestrial civilizations that descended upon Earth understood this clearly. When they looked at humanity, they saw a projection of themselves upon this world. To ensure our survival on this challenging planet, two specific emotions were etched into our genetic code: fear and frustration. Frustration is the ladder to progress. It is only when we feel frustrated by our limitations that we are driven to invent tools and strive to transcend our boundaries. Fear is the instinct for survival. It teaches us to evade danger and to rise up in resistance. But in the eyes of those giants known as the Anunnaki, or the Nephilim of myth, these emotions became levers for their dominion. They fabricated lies of demons and monsters attacking humanity, allowing fear to take root in our hearts. Why did they do this? Because for beings of the fourth dimension, they do not consume meat or fruit. Their only sustenance is energy. Every human being is, in fact, an energy factory connecting to multidimensional space. The emotions we produce are the very supplies they rely on for survival. The reptilian civilizations were the first to discover this secret. They once established matriarchal societies, teaching women how to master this energy. However, the Anunnaki who followed did the exact opposite. They caused us to forget how to process our emotions, leaving us to constantly leak energy amidst chaos and stress so they could harvest it to feed their own world. It is much like being in a pasture of the fourth dimension, where we are treated by them exactly as humans treat livestock. However, the story is not one of oppression alone. Within these extraterrestrial groups, massive divides existed. While one faction viewed humanity as mere miners and energy factories, another held a different perspective. They believed, if we vanish and humanity survives, our civilization will be utterly extinguished. The only way forward is to pass our wisdom to them, ensuring our eternal existence through their bloodlines. Consequently, this disagreement sparked an unfolding or Promethean revolution of interstellar proportions. One specific Anunnaki clan defied the prohibition and returned power to humanity. At that very moment, cultures in different corners of the globe almost simultaneously mastered the use of fire, not just physical fire, but the internal fire of emotion that fuels spiritual awakening. Greece, India, Mexico, Egypt, those giant clans of myth who taught human civilization were, in fact, the teachers among these factions. When the Alether departed from this planet, they passed the mysteries of heaven and earth to the shamanic cultures of Asia, Siberia, the American West, Canada, Alaska, Central America, and the Andes, teaching us how to live in symbiosis with nature. While the Anunnaki left a harsh mark on history, they also effectively constructed the framework of modern society. They taught humanity how to build magnificent temples using megaliths and how to establish rigorous order upon the land. Their vestiges are scattered across the Middle East, the Mediterranean, Central America, and Asia. Those colossal megalithic temples stand as their enduring ruins. This is the truth of our civilization. Though it originated from manipulation and the struggle for survival, those ancient mentors ultimately gave us the most vital tool of all, the power of revolution. They made us realize that no being can control us forever. For humanity itself is the source of energy, the true masters of that factory. When we learn to command the inner energy known as emotions, we possess a power that transcends all dimensions.